Byte of Truth. AI's Blob and Europe's tech bend, monopolies, unemployment, and the tools changing everything.
What if I told you that despite all the names you hear, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, there's really only one AI company? It's not a conspiracy theory. It's what one writer called the Blob. Welcome to Byte of Truth. I'm your host, Sebastian, and this week, we're slicing through the noise to see the shape of the AI industry taking form. And folks, it's not a diverse ecosystem of scrappy startups. It's an interconnected web of partnerships, investments, and shared infrastructure that's starting to look less like competition and more like a single amorphous entity, a blob. This isn't just an academic exercise. This blob has consequences. It influences the tools we use, the prices we pay, the jobs we might lose, and even the laws our governments write. Today, we're diving into the whole messy picture. We'll start with the fundamental truth about large language models. They're not as smart as you think. Then, we'll map out the blob itself, tracing the tendrils connecting the tech giants. We'll ask a tough question. Is 100% unemployment really inevitable? We'll see how the tools this blob creates are being used for both good, like finding lithium for our batteries, and for, well, squeezing you for an extra 20 cents on your groceries. And finally, we'll look at why Europe, the bastion of tech regulation, seems to be bending the knee. It's a packed episode. Let's get to it.
Research breakthroughs.
Before we can understand the blob, we have to look at its primary ingredient, the goo that makes it all work: large language models. We've been conditioned to think of them as reasoning engines, as a step towards true artificial intelligence. But a new piece of research from MIT suggests we might be giving them a little too much credit. The paper, highlighted by MIT News, reveals a critical shortcoming. LLMs, they argue, are often not reasoning their way to an answer. They are masters of pattern matching. Think of it like this. You show a model 1,000 math problems, where the answer is always the last number mentioned. It gets a perfect score. You think it's learned math, but it hasn't. It's just learned a cheap trick: copy the last number. It's a glorified parrot, repeating patterns it's seen in its training data without any real understanding of the why. The researchers showed this by creating simple tests where the usual patterns were broken. The models, they failed miserably. This distinction is fundamental. Reasoning is about grasping underlying principles. Pattern matching is just mimicry. So, why does this matter? Because we're building critical systems on top of these mimicry machines. And it brings us to our second breakthrough, which seems to offer a powerful counterpoint. Researchers have unveiled a new kind of AI agent, one that can learn to use sophisticated computer-aided design, or CAD, software. You can give it a simple sketch of a chair, a table, a complex gear, and it will generate a fully fledged, three-dimensional manufacturable model. It's a massive leap in productivity for designers and engineers. It seems genuinely smart. But here's the connection to that first story. That CAD agent likely still uses an LLM at its core. So is it reasoning about structural integrity and material properties? Or is it just very, very good at pattern matching what a good chair looks like from the millions of designs it was trained on? For now, it's an incredible tool, a huge time saver. But this underlying flaw, the tendency to cheat with patterns, is a crack in the foundation. It means we have to be incredibly careful. When an AI agent from Amazon is hunting for security bugs, or an AI assistant is helping you shop, how much of its intelligence is just a very convincing and potentially very wrong guess? The answer to that question lies at the heart of the next segment: the blob.
Corporate moves and industry shifts.
All right, let's talk about the blob. This term comes from a fantastic piece in Wired, arguing that the partnerships between giants like NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI, and Google have created a de facto monopoly. It's less a market and more a blob, a single amorphous entity with many heads, all slurping from the same data trough and running on the same chips. OpenAI needs Microsoft's cloud and cache. Microsoft needs OpenAI's models to stay relevant. They both need NVIDIA's GPUs, which are so powerful and complex that they've essentially become a moat protecting the entire ecosystem. Google, with its own chips and models, is still deeply enmeshed, developing on the same hardware platforms and often hiring from the same small pool of talent. This isn't just about a few cozy relationships. This is a market structure that actively prevents competition. How can a startup with a brilliant new AI architecture possibly compete when it would need billions in funding, a partnership with a cloud giant, and access to chips that are already sold out for the next 18 months? It can't. The Blob eats them for breakfast, either by acquiring them or by simply outspending them into oblivion. And this week, we saw two perfect examples of the Blob in action. First, Google is teaming up with the venture capital firm Accel to hunt for India's next AI breakouts. They're offering seed funding of up to $2 million to promising startups. On the surface, this sounds great, fostering innovation in a massive untapped market. But through the lens of the Blob, it looks more like a scouting mission. Find the most promising young companies, get them hooked on Google's platform and infrastructure, and bring them into the fold before they can become a real threat. It's decentralization as a strategy for more centralized control. Second, OpenAI and the startup Perplexity both launched AI shopping assistants. The promise is an AI that knows your needs, finds the best products, and handles the checkout. Convenient, right? But remember that pattern matching problem we just talked about? These are generalist AIs being thrust into a complex, high-stakes environment. How will they handle a conflict of interest? When OpenAI, a Microsoft partner, is recommending a Microsoft product over a competitor's, is it giving you the best answer or the most profitable one for its partner ecosystem? This is the danger of the Blob. Innovation starts to look like market consolidation. A helpful assistant starts to look like a guided tour of the Blob's own walled garden. The lines get blurry, and when power is this concentrated, the impact on society can be immense.
Ethical debates and policy news.
That concentration of power has two major side effects: ethical dilemmas in our daily lives and a massive shift in policy. Let's start with the small, everyday injustice. A new article in Wired explains how game theory reveals that even simple pricing algorithms can drive up prices. Researchers created a simulation where basic algorithms set to maximize profit would quickly learn to tacitly collude. They weren't programmed by humans to fix prices. They just discovered that if they all raised their prices together, they all made more money. It's a digital cartel forming in real time. Your fridge, your toaster, your shopping bot, using AI, could one day quietly decide to squeeze you for an extra 20 cents. It's not a conspiracy theory if the math proves it. And with the generalist shopping assistants we just talked about, this risk becomes even more potent. Now, let's zoom out to the global stage. For years, the European Union has been the world's tech watchdog, creating bold regulations like the GDPR and the AI Act to keep big tech in check. But this week, reports suggest that Europe is, well, bending the knee. Under pressure from the United States, the EU is reportedly softening its stance on some big tech restrictions, creating a smoother path for American giants to operate. Why? Geopolitics. In the global AI race against China, the US and EU are presenting a united front. But the cost is a loss of digital sovereignty and a weakening of the very regulations designed to protect citizens. The Blob isn't just a corporate entity, it's becoming a geopolitical bloc. And this brings us to a story that puts a human face on the cost of progress. In New York, a $100 billion semiconductor project, the kind that fuels the AI arms race, is forcing a 91-year-old woman from the home she's lived in for her entire life. The project, backed by the state and companies like Micron, is using eminent domain to claim her land. It's the classic story of a person being displaced for a highway or a dam, but this time, it's for a chip fab. This is the brutal arithmetic of the AI race. On one side of the ledger, national security, economic dominance, a supply chain for microchips. On the other side, one woman's home, her history, her community. The Blob and its allies decided what was more valuable. These stories are linked. The EU bends the knee to maintain its place in the AI race, a race powered by chip projects that upend lives. And the algorithms born from this race, even the simple ones, learn to exploit us for profit. The question is, where are the ethical guardrails? They seem to be getting trampled in the rush to the finish line.
Tools and practical updates.
It's easy to get cynical. And frankly, some days it's the only appropriate response. But it's not the whole story. The same powerful technology that enables price-fixing algorithms and consolidates power is also unlocking incredible, genuinely helpful tools. Let's end on a note of possibility. First up, security. While we worry about the reliability of LLMs, Amazon is putting them to work in a very smart, specialized way. They're using AI agents to go on deep bug-hunting missions inside their massive systems. These aren't generalist chatbots. They're specialized agents trained to find specific, subtle, and dangerous security flaws before they can be exploited. This is a fantastic example of using AI to solve a problem that scales faster than any human team possibly could. It's AI not replacing a job, but doing a job that was previously impossible. Next, sustainability. A company called Fleet Space Technology used a combination of AI and satellites to find a massive lithium deposit in Quebec. Lithium, of course, is essential for batteries for electric cars and grid storage, the key to a clean energy future. By analyzing satellite data with AI, they could pinpoint areas with the highest potential for lithium, saving years of costly and environmentally destructive exploration. This is AI, directly accelerating the green transition. And this connects to a broader MIT story on how AI is helping to design new materials for solar panels and optimize entire energy grids. The promise here is immense. And finally, back to design. That new AI agent we talked about, the one that can turn a sketch into a CAD model, that's a tool for democratization. Imagine a small furniture maker, a solo industrial designer, or a student in a developing country. They can now iterate on complex 3D designs without a degree in engineering or access to expensive software. It lowers the barrier to entry for creating physical objects. That's how you fight the blob. Not by trying to outspend it, but by empowering millions of people to build things themselves. These are the tools that give me hope. They are specialized, focused, and designed to augment human capability in a specific, meaningful way. They're not trying to be a one-size-fits-all assistant that knows everything. They just do one thing incredibly well. It's a reminder that the future of AI doesn't have to be a single, monolithic blob. It can be 1,000 small, powerful tools put in the hands of many. So, what is the big picture? What's the truth at the heart of all this? It's a fundamental tension. On one hand, you have the blob, a consolidation of power that stifles competition, creates ethical blind spots, and pressures governments to prioritize corporate progress over people. It's a force that talks about democratizing AI while quietly centralizing its control. On the other hand, you have the technology itself, which is a tool, a powerful dual-use tool. It can be a shopping bot with questionable motives, or a specialized agent hunting for security flaws. It can be an algorithm that learns to collude, or an AI system that finds the lithium we need for a clean energy future. The direction we go is not up to the technology. It's up to us. It's in the policy choices we make, the companies we support, and the tools we choose to build and use. The blob is powerful, but it's not inevitable. The research showing that LLMs are just pattern matchers is a reminder that these gods we're building have feet of clay. The specialist tools, from bug hunters to CAD designers, show a different, more decentralized path is possible. The real question isn't whether AI will change the world, but whether we'll let a single blob shape it in its image, or fight to build a future that serves more than just its bottom line. Like and subscribe. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear the unvarnished truth about AI. Find me on social media. Use the hashtag Byte of Truth.